Xicpanocuali Tonali, Xicpanocuali Teotlac, Xicpanocuali Yuwali, or Xicpanocuali Tlanesi. Depending on what time of day you're watching this video, it's either good day, good afternoon, good night, or good morning. The reason for this video is that we are promoting Nahuatl people, well, in fact, all indigenous people, to participate in a very important ceremony, which is called the New Fire Ceremony. It happens every 52 years, and we're getting close to that cycle. I'm going to focus your attention on the Tonal Machiotl, which people generally know as the Aztec calendar. We have it adjusted with these numbers here because we use it to teach elementary school children about the Tonal Machiotl. Right now we're taping on the day Secoat, or one snake. It's the beginning of a 13-day period, and we've made it so that this arrow points to the next day, and then each day that passes we do it with an arrow, and then we come back to the next 13-day cycle. But what I want to focus your attention is on the 52-year cycle, which is based on the Pleiades. The Pleiades, or Tlahuilcalli, is a group of stars, obviously 7 of them, and they're represented in the calendar around these figures. These figures of Tezcatlipoca and Quetzalcoatl, they represent the same planet, which is Venus. One is a manifestation of Venus as the morning star, one is a manifestation of Venus as the evening star. And since they're the same planet, the 7 same stars are on top here as they are over here. It doesn't mean that there are 14 stars, it's just a set of 7, but reflected on each aspect of Venus. Now, this calendar shows us 2 cycles of Venus. One cycle of Venus happens, and what I mean is by the cycle of Venus, these Pleiades, these 7 stars here, align with the planet Venus every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, every 8 years. And they align every 8 years, 13 days after the spring equinox. In 2012 there was an alignment, and then again there was one this year, 2020, and it's pictured here in the calendar. And you see when we observe this phenomena, we saw these 7, these are hidden here because of the numbers, but we saw these 7 stars right aligned with, actually in conjunction with Venus. And it's an important cycle, it's an important conjunction that is marked in the Aztec calendar. The other alignment, the other astronomical cycle, it's not an alignment but a cycle, is that every 52 years these same stars, the Pleiades, or Tlahuilcalli as it is in Nahuatl, they rise and they reach their highest point in the sky. If you're in between the tropics, they'll go across the zenith of the sky. But they reach their highest point in the sky every 52 years. This cycle of the Pleiades is marked here in this calendar through this row of corn kernels. There's 10, 11, 12, 13. And when we're keeping track of the years for the New Fire Ceremony every 52 years, each one of these kernels represents a year. So as 13 years pass, one bundle is tied, one reed bundle is tied. And then we continue with the next 13 years, and then we tie a second bundle. Then the third set of years, and we tie another bundle, and then finally we tie the the last bundle. Now this last bundle will be tied 2 years before the new fire ceremony is set to start. And so it doesn't mean that right after we finish tying the bundles that we do the new fire ceremony, because we have to wait for these Pleiades to rise at their proper time, at their proper setting. And the setting, the mark for where they rise to cross at their highest point in the night sky, you can find that in the ancient city of Teotihuacan and the ancient cities of Izapa. Now, this 13-year cycle, this 13-year cycle, is meant as a way to renew the world. Every 52 years, the ceremony comes and it's to renew the world. 5 days, and it's 4 days of fasting, and then on the 5th day, and during the fasting, all fire is not used at all. All fires are extinguished. And in the 5th year, those 4 reeds of 4 bundles of 13 reeds come together in whatever community is holding that space and time, and then a new fire is lit. And then once again, we can begin eating again, stop our fasting. Sometimes a community will only eat cold food, or sometimes others will fast. But after the new fire is lit, then a meal is cooked, and there's feasting going on, and we can begin the new 52-year cycle. And at that time, the world is renewed. Renewed as a consequence of all the activities that happen in tying those reeds. So we're encouraging communities and people all over the world really to participate in this. You can tie, you should have 3 reeds already tied by now, or you can tie them, if you haven't been doing that. And then the 4th one, you'll have 8 reeds tied, because we're in the year 8 Tekpa. And then you can start adding those other reeds. In the next section of the video, we're going to demonstrate how we were taught to tie these reeds to prepare for the new fire ceremony. Ometeo. All right, now we're at the part where we're going to illustrate or demonstrate how we do the tying of the reeds. And this doesn't mean that this is a real way, the authentic way, the only way. It just means that this is the way we were shown how to do it. Usually we have, or not usually, but we should have a ceremonial fire as the center. And then we align the reeds according to the way the Tlahuilcalli or the medicine wheel teaches us. We align them to the directions. To the east, to the west, to the south, and to the north. Now, as each direction, like all things in nature, have complementary opposites, we acknowledge that by placing a reed at the side of each direction that we set. This is a way of honoring the natural way of things, that all of us have complementary opposites. We're one person, but we have a left side and a right side. There's east and west, but then to the sides are north and south. So now, having aligned our reeds like that, we're left with one reed. And this is a reed that we're going to begin with, the first year. So the way we honor the first year, let's say that the year is going to be Tekpat, 1 Tekpat. So we begin in the east, and ceremonially we move around the way the earth moves around the sun, and then we would place the reed there to the north Tekpat.
The following year is going to be the year Omekali, to house, which will be in the west. So we set up everything this way, the way we did the year before. And then this time we begin here with Tekpat. Okay? And we pick up the second reed. This is the year dos casa or two Cali. And then we ceremonially move around. And now we place it there. Now when the ceremony is over, these two would be tied and the other ones would be loose, and then they would all be wrapped in a blanket. So the next year, when it's going to be Tochli, the year 3 Tochli, we start there and we move here and we pick up the third reed, and then ceremonially we move the reed around like the earth goes around the sun, and then we place it there. Now once the ceremony is done and we're getting ready to tie, we would tie these three, and then those would be loose, and then all together they would come together in a blanket for the next year. And again, each year the next one will be Akat, 4 Akat. So we start here with these and we go around and we pick up 4 reeds signifying 4 Akat. Ceremonially we move them around and place them there to celebrate the year 4 Akat. The following year will be the year 5 Tekpat, because the years repeat. And again, we go here, we pick up this reed, ceremonially walk it around. Of course, I'm doing this very fast. In ceremony, we won't do this fast. That's why we don't have a fire for real here. We lay it down and we celebrate that year, and then again we tie these, and those are loose, and then all together in a blanket. Now eventually what you're going to have is you're going to keep going around like right now, and of course you'll pick up this one and then move it around, and you're going to keep moving until eventually all the reeds are going to wind up being tied into a bundle of 13. And now all of the reeds get tied, and we are ready for our next bundle next year. In our community, we have done this. We have done already 3 bundles of 13, and they are ready for the new fire ceremony. And we're currently tying our current bundle. The year that has just passed was the year 8 Tekpat. And we're gonna undo the reeds in March for the New Year ceremony, and we're gonna tie them up the way that I just showed you.